Today we're going to do something a little special. Instead of our normal craft and chat, I'm actually going to be doing a free workshop. I'm going to do a free workshop with you here featuring the Joy to the World bundle. This is a beautiful napkin bundle. Sorry, I almost dropped something. This is a really pretty specialty napkin bundle. It has really beautiful napkins in it, and I'm using this napkin bundle to create some beautiful faith-inspired creations. Okay, I love to create things to celebrate my faith. I love to have those decor pieces around during Christmas, just to keep my mind where it should be. You know, what's the true meaning of Christmas? Today, our focus is going to be kind of on light. Okay, it's going to be on light, and I believe that Jesus is the light of the world, and so we're going to focus on a couple projects today that emphasize light. Okay. You weren't able to find the printables and you don't know how to print them from Facebook. Okay, Sherry, the printables were when you purchased the bundle, you should have received an email for these. If you didn't, you can email us and we can shoot them to you. Also, they are posted if you happen to be a member of the Napkin Club or the Faith Journaling Club, the Faith Journaling Experience group. The printables are posted in there as well. And that is something we're going to do today. Hi, everyone. Hello. Good morning. Cheryl McCarson is here with me. So, Sherry, she just sent you her email, so you can just let her know and we can send that to you. Okay. So if you purchase a Joy to the World bundle, you're also going to get a 2-page printable. This is one of the pages here. There's another page that looks like this with ornaments and larger words on it. And that's really one of the first things we're going to talk about today is how we're going to use these printables. How I plan to use these printables. I'm going to walk you through step by step what I'm doing with them and then incorporating them with our napkin art. Okay. It's going to be super fun. It's going to be super fun. So I am super happy that you're here. We're going to be working on a couple of different faith-based projects today featuring napkins from this bundle. Now, if you happen to be here for the first time and you're like, I don't know anything about this bundle, I want to check it out. We still have some left. We have about 50 or so left. They have sold very quickly, very quickly. So if you're interested in the Joy to the World bundle, here, let me hold it up over here. Oh, it's a little blurry. I might have to fix that. We will post a link. There's also, actually, I posted a link for this bundle in the description above, but then Cheryl will be posting links for this bundle as well. So I'm going to fix this camera right quick. Looks a little blurry to me, so give me just a second here. Let's see if we can't get a better picture. I want to make sure everybody can see really well. I think that's better. No, it's still kind of blurry, isn't it? Let me put this down underneath it. Sometimes it just needs something really patterny to kind of focus on. I'll let it focus on my hand. Ah, ha, ha, ha. Okay, now we got it. Now we got it. All right. So this is what I plan to do. Myra, you got your napkins. The printable would have been sent to you digitally in an email when you purchased your napkins. If you can't find it, you guys always check like your spam and your promotions, because you just never know where sometimes this stuff is going to wind up if it doesn't go straight to your inbox. And then, of course, if you can't find it there, just email us and we will take care of you. Okay, we'll make sure that you get it. So, yes, I'm so glad you guys are here. And I'm so glad lots of you have already pre-ordered. You already got your napkin bundle and you've already seen them and you're loving them. And I've been getting so many amazing comments about it. So thank you, thank you, thank you. Now, we're also going to be having on Sunday a specialty workshop, a paid workshop. Today is free. This is just a free workshop. There'll be another free workshop on Friday, December 1st. Okay, so we'll talk about that a little bit. And then Sunday is a paid workshop. It's $10. The proceeds are going towards a charitable donation. We're going to be doing some kind of Christmas community service with those funds. And we're going to be doing this. We're going to be creating this beautiful canvas. It's a mantle scene. It's so big. It's a 12 by 24 canvas. I'm going to show it to you here. So pretty. So this is happening Sunday at 2 o'clock. That will be a live workshop. However, you'll have access to the replay. So if you can't watch this weekend and you still want to create this, you'll be able to sign up at any time and you can just watch the replays of the workshop to create with. Okay? Yeah, we'd love to have you. All right. Well, I'm going to jump right in if you guys are all right. You guys ready? Again, I'm Miss Tracy with Miss Tracy Creates. Thank you for being here today. I want to talk to you first in this Joy to the World workshop, this free workshop, about the printable, about printing it. How are you going to print it? Well, I'm going to tell you what I've done and I'm going to show you the steps. It's actually quite simple. You will need a printer. You will need some gift tissue, some white gift tissue. Now, I want to make these printables as close to a napkin as I possibly can. And because I'm going to be incorporating and using them with my napkin art, okay, with the other napkins in the bundle. So these are the steps you're going to follow. Let me move this one out of the way for just a second. So gift tissue, you guys know what gift tissue is. It's the tissue that you put in gift bags, all the things. This does not have to be expensive gift tissue. It could be from the dollar store. It could be from anywhere. And you're going to cut a piece of it into the same size as a piece of copy paper for your printer, 8.5 by 11, okay? 8.5 by 11. You can use a piece of copy paper to use as a template. If you have a paper cutter or a guillotine type cutter, you can cut it out however you'd like. So that is your first step. Now, some, not all, but some gift tissues have kind of a slick side, kind of a shiny or slick side. And then they also have kind of a matte or a dull side. That's going to be important. For right now, for this step, it won't be, but I'll talk about that here in just a moment. So it is okay to have one that has both dull sides or one shiny and one dull side, okay? Pretty much any gift tissue will work for this. So I'm going to take my iron. This is my little Oliso craft iron. It's one of my favorite things. I have it on its hottest setting. This is just a little portable ironing table that a little ironing board that I put on my craft area here. And I'm going to iron away the wrinkles. Okay, because always gift tissue is going to have, wrinkles, creases, stuff like that in it. So I'm just, I have it on its hottest setting. I don't have any water in it. We don't want any water for this, the technique that we're going to be doing. And we're going to get out as much of the wrinkles as we can, all right, out of this. And I had turned my iron down, so let me turn it back up here. So let it get a little hotter. And you're going to notice that as you iron over this, it's going to get really staticky, kind of like static cling. And that's actually a good thing. So don't worry if it gets very, very staticky. I forgot I had turned my iron back off. I was like, this doesn't feel very hot. So there we go. Now it's nice and warm. All right. So we cut it into the same size as a sheet of copy paper that would go into your printer. Okay. Now I'm going to take a piece of regular copy paper, just plain copy paper, and I'm going to lay this down. And like I said, it's going to get kind of staticky, and you're going to put the shiny side down onto the copy paper, and it's going to cling right to it. It's just going to suck right on there because when we've ironed it, it kind of created some static. Okay. So make sure that your shiny side is down. Okay. We are going to be putting this through a printer, and let me see here. This is what I like to use. I usually just use a little piece of washi tape. If you don't have washi tape, it could be like painter's tape or even Scotch tape. And I'm going to have it kind of lined up on my copy paper just so. You want to make sure it's lined up well. And then I'm just going to put a little bit of tape here at the top. And I'm going to turn it over and fold it over. Okay, so now my gift tissue, right? My tissue sheet is attached to my copy paper. Okay, my tissue is attached to my copy paper. And then I go put it in the printer. Now, everybody's printer might be different. I don't know. My printer has to go down, like the tissue part has to go face down, and then it kind of feeds through the printer like this. So depending on how your printer feeds through, you're going to put this in. I just have an inkjet printer. Okay, just an inkjet printer. And then I just print it. Okay, you're going to have the digital download. So you can save that and just print it off. Okay. All right, here we go. After it comes off the printer, it's going to look something like this. See, there's my little washi tape up there. Here's all of the images. All right, this is what it's going to look like. I don't have a fancy printer. This is just a regular inkjet printer. Okay. And this is what it's going to look like. So it's going to print, and I like printing on that matte, dull side. I prefer to do that. If you try to print it on the kind of shiny side, sometimes the ink will run a little bit, okay? The ink might be a little bit wet when it first comes off, so just let it sit there for a minute. And then I'm going to take off my washi tape here. And we're going to heat set the ink, okay? We're going to heat set the ink. I just have an inkjet printer. So that's all I'm using. So I want you to see, look how awesome it is. It just printed right onto the tissue. It's not hard. This is not hard. It looks great. There's two different printables. So this is the one I'm printing today. This is the one I'm going to use with you today. And so now I'm going to lay this down. Again, ink side up, okay? I'm going to take that same piece of copy paper and I'm going to put it right on top of it. And I'm going to come back and I'm going to iron over it again. This is going to heat set the ink. That way, when I start to decoupage these pieces of tissue paper on, I don't have to worry that the ink is going to bleed. Okay, so it really is a simple process. I would just go ahead and print them both off. You know, get them both done, ironed, and that way they're ready to go for you. You can print them off as many times as you want. You can use it as many times as you want. You can use it in any kind of crafting that you do. It's really just, it's my gift to you for purchasing the Joy to the World bundle. And so that's all I'm doing. Again, hottest, highest setting, no water in your iron, no water. And that's all we're doing. We're just kind of heat setting this. So just keep the iron moving. And that's it. That is it. Yes, it works fabulously. It really does. So now that I have it heat set, I'll let it cool and it'll be ready for me to create with. Okay, isn't it awesome? See how pretty all the images are? Or not really images, these are mostly words. The other one has some ornaments on it and things, so I think you'll like that. So any questions about this part? I'm going to move this over here real quick. Any questions about that? I plan to use this method on everything I'm making because it's the closest thing I can do to get these printables as close to a napkin as possible. Okay, does that make sense? Where did we get the printable for I bought the Joy to the World napkin set? It was emailed to you. So you check your email, make sure it didn't go to your promotions or your spam. It should have been emailed to you after your purchase. So if you didn't get it, just shoot us an email and we'll respond back and get it for you, send it to you. Okay. All I did, Pam, was show the method for printing onto white tissue paper for our projects. Okay. That's what I just showed. So if you signed on late, definitely go back, watch the replay of this, because it is important to know this process. But once you know this, any printables you ever get, any printables, you'll know the method of putting them and printing them onto tissue paper. And then they become so craftable, right? There's so many things we can do with them at that point. All right. Where can I find the craft iron? Well, this is actually it's a regular iron, but it is called a mini. It's a Oliso. They come in different colors. It's my favorite one. I love it. It's kind of small, so it's good for my hands. And it has this little silicone mat. It comes in different colors. I have it saved in my Amazon storefront. So if you ever want to go look for it, that is where it's at. You can see it would be a great little Christmas gift to yourself. Yeah, it's a great one. Okay, I've never printed on tissue. Is it just regular that you put in gifts? Yes, absolutely. It could be tissue paper from the dollar store. It doesn't have to be anything expensive. It's nothing special. I prefer, if it does happen to have a shiny side and a dull side, I like printing on the dull side. Okay, I like printing on the dull side. Most of the time, it will either be dull on both sides. The cheaper it is, it usually is dull on both sides. Sometimes you'll have a shiny side. Okay. You can get it from anywhere, and I just cut it into 8.5 by 11 sheets so that it's the same exact size as my copy paper. Okay, Rhonda? Anywhere that sells gift tissue. Okay, you'll definitely need to cut it down to the paper size for your printer, which is for most of us is 8.5 by 11. Okay. Yes, it's so easy to do. I mean, I just showed you every step. So follow these steps and it will work for you. Okay, I promise. Okay, well, our first craft today is going to be candles. I get a lot of questions about candles. I kind of have my own method for candles, and I've been playing around with a couple of different ideas, and I want to show you how easy it is to create with napkin art on candles. These would be so pretty for your own decor, so pretty to give as a gift. And so the first thing, like I said, my theme for today is light, right? Jesus is the light, and we're celebrating his birth. And I love to create things that remind me of the true meaning of Christmas to keep around me, and to have in my decor during the Christmas season. So I want to show you a couple different candles here, okay? Now, there are candles out there that are electric, and that's what I like to use. I like to use the electric candles so that way I don't have to worry about someone burning them, just any of the, I just don't have to worry about any of that. So they make electric candles. They make some that are just feel like hard plastic, but the ones I like have a wax coating on them. So it still feels like a real candle. Okay. So they also make some. This one, I actually found this one on clearance, believe it or not, at Hobby Lobby. That sometimes they're tricolor, like, or they'll have different colors within them. This one has kind of glitter, kind of this glittery color all down here at the bottom. Again, it is an electric candle. So let me show you what this will look like when you put the batteries in it. They just run on batteries. So easy to do. Let me pop this one in here, and then I'll turn it on for you. So sometimes they have multiple settings. So, and it's going to be very hard for you to see. Let's see if I pull back, maybe you can kind of see. I have so many lights on right now, it may be hard to tell. And then, so there's one that's kind of like flicker mode. Can you kind of see the flicker? Or just a solid stream of light. Okay, so I like using these. I don't like the hard plastic ones. I like the ones that have the wax coating on them. And you can find these, you guys, this one came from Hobby Lobby. This one came from Walmart. Walmart, Hobby Lobby, Michael's. I mean, I think anybody that sells decor that has, some type of candles out there, they'll have them. So I prefer the ones that have wax coating on them, and you'll understand why here in just a little bit. Okay. Yes, they do have ones with timers. They do have ones with timers, so they'll just automatically turn off. So I think those are great. They come in different sizes, all different sizes. Okay, some are tall and skinny, some are like kind of like these, like the pillars. Some are shorter. So they are in different sizes. You can see this one kind of has a straight edge on the top. This one has kind of a wavy edge on the top. Okay, so they're everywhere. Okay, they're everywhere, and they make awesome gifts. They do have some now that have that are scented. The wax, I guess, is scented or something that's on the outside of them. These don't have a smell to them. They're just wax coated, and I like that. Okay, so you're going to learn my method for candles, and I have been playing around. I've kind of, we all we try different ways of doing things. And I kind of think I finally have kind of perfected what I think is the easiest way to do these candles. And so that's what we're going to do first. Okay. Yes, I love the wax coated ones. They're just beautiful. They really feel like an authentic real candle. Okay. Always heat set, Karen. Always heat set your tissue after you print it. You've got to heat set that ink. Okay. We got to heat set it so that it won't smear anything when we decoupage it. Okay. All right. I've been trying to decide which napkins to use. I'm kind of leaning towards using maybe some of the music notes and this Joy to the World. I thought it might be fun to kind of layer up a couple pieces just to show you what that looks like. And then I'm debating if I want to mess with the glitter or just keep this simple for you. But don't you think that music paper will look gorgeous on this? Okay, I think I'm just going to go ahead and go with this one. All right, so what we're going to need to do is I'm going to cut my napkin in half here. Put this one over to the side. And then I'm going to see about how much I'm going to need to wrap around this candle. You don't want a lot of excess. We don't want a lot of it, kind of wrapped over the edge. To just kind of come right to the edge. Okay, that's good right there. And then this is a little bit tall, but I could fold this down. No, I don't think I'm going to. Okay, so I'm going to kind of hold this right at the bottom of the table, and then I'm going to come in and just do kind of a crease here. And that way I know where to cut. And I'm just going to cut right along that little crease that I made. Okay, so napkin art, candles 101. This is what you're about to learn. Okay. I love the wax coated ones too. All right, so we do need to separate the plies off of the napkin, and I'm going to be changing my camera around here in just a second. And I'm going to be using just regular Mod Podge matte for this and some wax paper. So the method that I like, I'm going to show you a couple different ways. Kind of easy, and then one more step that I think makes it even way better. Okay. All right. So I'm going to put my printable over here. We're going to use the printable today on a canvas. So I need to separate my napkin. I like to do this with kind of the lick and stick method, but you can also put just a tiny little bit of Mod Podge on your finger, tap them together till they get a little bit sticky to separate. This particular napkin has 3 plies, so we need to take off 2. And that gives us our top ply. I'm going to save these though, because look, you can see the faint music paper on that one. I could use that one again. I like that. All right, so we're going to start by just simply Mod Podging this part of the napkin onto the candle. Okay, So our Mod Podge is going to go right over. I'm going to switch my screen here so you can really see what's going on. I'm going to just take this right over, and I don't do the whole candle at one time. We're going to kind of start in a section, and then we're going to move to another section. Now, you don't have to necessarily decorate the whole entire candle. I just think with the music paper, it will be pretty. And I'm going to take it and kind of just lay it down. I'm going to lay it down. Let's see how I'm doing here. Okay, I'm doing pretty good. Now, another thing I'm going to do, watch this. Sometimes if I feel like the music is just going to be too, if I feel like something's going to be just a little too intense and I want it to be softer, I'll actually put the napkin down with the wrong side out. Okay. Now you don't have to do this. See the napkin here? And then look at it here. Do you see how it just takes on a little bit of a softer look? Especially since I know that I'm going to be putting another napkin on top of it. And it's just kind of a fun thing to do. You can't do it with everything if it had words or, you know, and actually this one does have a word here or there. I think it has one word somewhere, but it'll be okay. So I'm just going to continue kind of my way around. I'm going to use a plastic sheet here, a little piece of plastic wrap here in a minute. So sometimes certain napkins, you can put them on backwards to get a softer look. Okay, now I'm going to need a little bit more right here. I'm on a non-stick craft mat too, by the way. And now I'm going to stand this candle up. So I'm going to take my plastic wrap. Okay, now you could use plastic wrap that you have in your kitchen. You could use whatever, you know, I'm using what's called a deli bakery sheet. And I'm going to start kind of smoothing the napkin. Okay, this takes a little bit of practice, so I don't want you to panic. You could always practice on like an old candle that you don't really, you know, care about anymore, or get one at the dollar store just to practice on. So I'm just smoothing, okay? Just smoothing, smoothing, smoothing. And it's just kind of conforming all the way around my candle. Now I can see down here on the edges, I've got a little bit kind of coming around the edge. So I'm not going to sand that off because I don't want to have like sand marks in my candle wax. I'm just going to put a little bit of Mod Podge down. So if it does kind of go over the edge a little bit, that's all we'll do. Or you could cut it, whatever you need to. That's on the bottom, so it's not going to matter. All right. Questions? Anybody have questions just yet? Thank you for sprinkling. Thank you. Then yeah, the notes might be backwards if you do that. I'll leave it up to you. I just wanted to show you that it is possible. I'm not sure that people will be looking at this too much for the actual music. But you're right. A music lover might realize that. So we're going to be really careful when we take this off, because you're going to see that the Mod Podge is going to kind of seep up through all of this. And I'm going to come back around and just kind of look at it. I want you to see that do you see how it just really kind of takes on the wax kind of look? Now we do need to dry this just a little bit before we move forward. So we have to be a little careful with this. Some of you have like crazy strong heat guns. I have my little heat it tool here. I'm just trying to dry it. I don't want anything to melt. I don't want the wax to melt. I don't want anything like that to happen. But I do need this to be dry. So I'm going to kind of just keep this moving around. Okay. Just keep it moving. Now you can just use heat to actually meld the napkin to the candle, but I'm going to do this differently this time for you. I think this is going to be easier for those of you that are just starting something like this. Yeah, I didn't think about the music notes being backwards, but I don't think anybody would really care or notice too much at my house. All right, let's take a look. Right? Isn't it pretty? Now, as it dries, it may look a little whiter in some areas than others, but I think I have it dry enough that I can go ahead now and overlay something onto it. And you'll see the napkin kind of change. Like I said, for right now, I think I'm good. I'll put it right here. Okay. So my thought was that I might put this pretty Joy to the World on this candle. So let me cut a piece of this off. This napkin is a what we call a guest towel. So you'll have 6 images to play with. I used one of them on my mantle, Christmas mantle canvas, but I have plenty here to play with. And I want you to watch what I'm going to do. I'm going to come in and just kind of cut the word part to start. Now, if you didn't want to use this, I'm just kind of showing you, you could use any of your pieces from your printable. We'll use those in a minute on a different project. So let me see again, maybe this side. Yeah, okay, yeah, I think that looks good. What do y'all think? I'm gonna need something. Let me get some scissors here. It wants to roll, so I just need something to kind of prop against it here. And then do you see all of this? Like, I love all of this that kind of goes around the edge here. If we wanted to, we could kind of cut from some of these sides and we could put this down around the bottom. Okay, so let me separate this. Did I get them both? Make sure. Okay. So do you see what I mean? Like, we could take this maybe even around the bottom. So let's focus on this part first. And I don't like anything to have like a lot of straight edges. So you can use your, let me use my little detail scissors here. Cheryl, let me know if I missed an important question. I think the red and the green will look pretty against this, but I could even do an image here, right? I could do, there's lots of pretty images in this napkin bundle that we could do. I like that. So again, I'm going to take that part off. We're going to just come back. This is dry enough now. We're going to Mod Podge. We're going to put this directly onto whatever you decide you want to be the front of your candle. We're going to grab another piece of plastic wrap, and then just start smoothing. need to make sure I got enough Mod Podge down this low. Just smooth, smooth, smooth. And then we're going to carefully peel this back off. Okay, I can tell that I didn't get quite enough right over here. I'm going to get underneath that little edge right there. Okay, can you see what's happening? Isn't that pretty? So we still have kind of our music. I just think that looks really pretty. Now, I'm going to go ahead and kind of play with the bottom because I do think that that's kind of pretty if we wanted to put something along the bottom just to give you an idea. Or you could do ribbon down there. You could do really whatever you want. Just to give you an idea, because I think that this little edge right here is perfect for the edge of the candle. I love that. And again, back to my plastic wrap. If you try to smooth it without the plastic wrap, your napkin's more than likely going to tear. Okay, so I want to be careful about that. And that is so cute. I like that. Do y'all like that? It'll become a little more transparent when we put the top coat on. And this, of course, you could do all the way around. I'm not going to do the whole entire thing right now, but you could even put some at the top if you want to. I'll let y'all decide about that. I just want to kind of show you the method here. So again, I need to turn that iron off. Okay. I'm going to just kind of blow at this, make sure that it is dry. And then we're going to put a little top coat on. And then I'm going to show you something fun. Usually just kind of feel of it. Make sure it's okay for the top coat. Why the top coat? Well, we have to seal it. We have to protect it. And then I want to, now if you wanted to, you could even just stop at this point. You could sprinkle in some glitter. You could make something sparkly. You could do all of those things. But I'm going to stop here because I'm going to let this dry. We're going to dry this. Okay. And then what I'm going to do is I'm going to use some wax paper, because remember how I told you how I like a candle that feels like wax? Right? I love a candle that actually feels like wax. So that is what I'm going to use my wax paper for. And so I just want to show you how to do this next step. I just think this looks so pretty. And again, yes, if you did want to add sparkle, you could. I don't usually add pin work or anything like that to candles. Okay, so what I'll be doing is I just want you to see how pretty it looks first, right? Isn't that pretty? And of course, when this turns on, all of this will be glowing, right? When we turn this on, it will be glowing. It will be so pretty. The words, everything will glow. The music notes will glow. It'll be just so gorgeous. I really do like adding this around the bottom. That's something you could do around the entire candle if you want to, the bottom or the top, either one. So here's what I want to show you with the wax paper. The wax paper, what we can do with that is, let me grab some. It's just plain old wax paper. It doesn't have to be anything super special. I'm gonna grab some of this off the roll. We're gonna melt, basically, we're going to melt the wax from the wax paper on top of the candle. So let me cut this down a little bit. It doesn't need to be quite this big. And if I was decorating the entire candle, of course, I'd be doing the whole candle, but I want to show you a few different techniques today. So I'm going to take this wax paper and here, again, don't need this much. Plain old wax paper, okay? Okay, it's covered in wax paper right now. Everybody with me on this? Okay, I'm going to take my heat tool now, and I'm going to just kind of bring it in kind of close to my wax paper. And I'm going to watch it. Now, usually I do this kind of a section at a time. Today, I'm just going to do this front section here. And you'll just kind of start watching it. We don't want to, we don't really want to melt the candle. We're just melting the wax on the wax paper. So just, again, just kind of a section at a time. And you'll start to see it kind of change. I'm hoping this will show up on camera well. Let's see. You'll start to see it kind of liquefy. It just kind of, you'll be able to tell. It's just going to liquefy, and it's going to grab right onto the candle. And then it gives us this nice thin layer of wax on top of everything that we just napkinized. Okay, it's almost there. You can see it changing right now. So as it gets hot, it's going to kind of release from the paper and grab the candle. So again, just keep the heat moving. Keep the heat moving. And I usually kind of, after that happens, you can kind of roll it just to make sure it gets kind of everywhere. And now I'm going to very carefully peel this back off. It grabs the candle, right? Oh, I love it. Now, when I feel on top of this, guess what I feel? I feel wax. So now it feels like this is part of the candle. It's wax. We've actually taken the wax from the wax paper and it's just melted and kind of melded right on top of our napkin art. And like I said, I would just do this kind of a section at a time. But it's not hard to do, and I think it just looks wonderful. What do y'all think? Thank you, Elizabeth. Thank you for the heat tool. I know y'all probably got so tired of looking at my other one. Yes. So now this really does feel like a candle. All right. It just takes a second for it to dry. It feels very much like an actual candle. So that's the step that I like to take. Now you can do these different ways. You can do it all through heat setting, but honestly, I think especially for anyone that's just starting in napkin art, it's going to help you so much to Mod Podge your napkins in place first, dry them, top coat them, and then do the wax, melt the wax on top. It is so easy to do. Okay. Now, one more thing. If I had gone in with like stickles, like a glitter glue or something, and I had put some sparkle on these words, sometimes the wax, if you do the wax on top of that, it will dull the sparkle. So if you really, really, really want some sparkle on these, it's okay to add your stickles after the wax. Okay, so if I want to come in and just, let me just get a little bit on here. Okay, do you see? If I want to come in, I can come in and do this with like a little brush or just the tip, but just be careful if you're using the tip of your stickles. Don't press down hard, especially right now while everything still might be a little soft. But it's going to be fine to come in and add this. So if you want sparkle and you plan to add the wax paper coat, the wax coating over the top of your napkin art, do it before, I'm sorry, do it after you've added that wax coating, because it can kind of dull the sparkle. You see the sparkle okay? So I'm just kind of painting it on there with the tip, and it's not going to hurt it at all. Isn't that pretty? And such a pretty gift. And you don't have to worry about them burning it. You're just gonna, it's just gonna take, it's just going to take the batteries, right? You just pop the batteries down here in the bottom. And like I said, most of them have 2 settings, and some of them even have timers. So it'll just take a second for the stickles to dry. Really love this around the bottom. So I may be adding some more of that. But and then again, if you put this in some pretty candle ring, you know, with some pretty foliage, right? I mean, it'll just be so pretty as a gift. Okay. You can get these candles, these electric candles, pretty much anywhere now. Anywhere that sells candles, they have electric candles. They get used a lot at weddings and different, you know, special events and things like that. Very easy to use. I picked, this one came from Walmart. This one with the beautiful gold at the bottom came from, it was on clearance at Hobby Lobby. And again, they both run on batteries. You can have kind of flicker mode or just a solid candlelight mode. Some of them come with timers. Those get a little more expensive. Aren't they great? Okay. So I'm not going to, I think I'm just going to do one quick thing on this one for you. And I have a little bit of my Mod Podge got on my fingers on this one. But again, I just want to make sure you know, I just kind of do that the wax paper, I kind of do it in sections. Don't try to do the whole thing at one time. Sections is good for that. All right. How do we like the candle? It's going to be, again, so pretty. Let's look at it this way. See how pretty it looks? They're so easy to do. They're so fun and so pretty. Okay. All right, I'm not going to do the full-on steps for this next one, but I did want to show you that if you did decide to use one of your printables here, let's do this one. Oh, come all ye faithful. You're going to do the exact same steps with your printable tissue because you've already heat set it. It is important. Please don't forget to heat set it. The ink needs to be heat set after you print it. But do you see, like we could easily come in here and put this here. I have another little napkin piece. Let me grab this. This is on one of the napkins, right? So you could come in and kind of play and kind of create your own, you know, pretty candle, whatever you want to do. It's actually, this one's kind of pretty just with the words. Let's just put the words on this one. So I'm going to put it right up here. I don't even have to Mod Podge this whole thing. So this can be very simple. If you have a smaller candle, I'm going to do it kind of where it's just right above where that glitter kind of starts. Grab my plastic wrap. So in a situation like this, you wouldn't even have to do the whole candle. This would happen very fast, right? That other candle took a lot of time because we wrapped the whole candle, you know, all the things, but these actually don't have to take a lot of time. And just kind of burnishing, just kind of rubbing down into that. Dry it just a little bit. So this could be super fast. This doesn't have to take a lot of time, especially if it's a smaller candle or one like this where it's kind of decorative in some places. You don't have, it could just be words that you want to put on. And then same thing with the wax. If you just cut a piece of wax that's a little bigger than the words, you don't even have to do the whole candle waxing. Okay, let's try this one. See how fast? Super fast. So I just want y'all to keep this in mind because candles are a great gift to give. And by, you know, giving them a handmade touch and doing something special with them will really look gorgeous. So I really like the electric candles that have the wax coating. Okay. The electric candles that have the wax coating, they just look so much nicer. They look beautiful when you turn them on with the flicker or the solid flame. And then let's go back. I'm just going to grab, this was the piece that I cut off a while ago. So I kind of showed you the long version. This is the short version, right? This is the quick short version because not everything we do has to take forever. Right? Okay, so I'm going to put my wax right here, top of this. And I'm going to start heating. Okay? Very easy to do. These candles would look great on risers, right? So we have little candlestick things in the shop that you can use. We have several different types of risers. You guys know they look so pretty in vignettes at different heights, you know, just in other areas that you're decorating, maybe on your mantle or on a tiered tray. And then you don't have to worry about turning them on. You don't have to worry about an open flame on a tiered tray or wherever. You don't have to worry about that. Oh, it's starting to melt. Takes just a minute for it to heat up. Okay, it's starting to melt. This will be easier for you to see than it is to show on camera. Let's see if I can get it closer. You'll be able to just start seeing it. It almost looks a little fluid. Just keep your heat moving so we don't warp our candle. And then, like I said, I like to kind of just roll it. You can use your hands, but it's kind of nice just to roll it. All right. And then let's take this back off. Whoops. I did it too soon. I need to let it cool a little bit. Okay. I'm trying to move too fast for you guys. There we go. So if you try to lift this off and it's trying to come with it, it just means you need to wait a minute. Let it cool off a bit. And that's just Mod Podge right there. That Mod Podge will just kind of rub off. All right, and there we have it. Isn't that pretty? Did I still have the batteries in this one? I do. Okay, I'm going to try to hold it back here. It's too light in here. I can't make it dark enough for you to see what's happening, but see the flicker? Isn't that pretty? So pretty and fast, right? Doesn't have to take a lot of time. Okay, so if you just signed on, we just finished doing a napkin technique. This one was with a printable. This one was with layered napkins. So I want you to make sure and watch the replay, because at the very beginning of this, I'm sharing with you how to print the printables, the process on printing the printables onto tissue paper. Okay. Yes, the napkin bundle is still available. I think we had about 50 left when we first started the class. So not many left. We've sold hundreds. We've sold a lot of them. Yes, candles are so fun. Okay. So I hope that you like that. I hope you enjoy that. And yeah, I can't wait to see, what you create with them. There's so many pretty images with the napkins and just all the things. They're just so gorgeous. All right, so we're going to keep talking about light. All right, we're going to keep talking about light. And I'm going to grab just this chunky canvas right here. Okay, the chunky canvas. So today is our theme is light. Jesus is the light of the world. We want to remember why we celebrate Christmas, and creating projects like these that are faith inspired or faith based. It helps us to to keep that in mind, right? To keep in mind why we are celebrating Christmas to begin with, right? So it's just so pretty. I have it over here glowing. So pretty. All right. Let me turn that off so my batteries don't run out. So I want to talk to you about a canvas, because a canvas is another project that can glow. Okay, that can glow. So I'm going to use this one. This is probably one of my favorite ones in this entire set. I love this one. It's Mary and Joseph and baby Jesus. I also use this one on the holiday mantle canvas workshop, and it's great because you're going to have 4 images, so you can make multiple things. You'll have things that you can gift, all the things here. So I'm not going to paint this at all. This canvas is already white. You can see that it's chunky. It's the chunkier size canvas. So we're going to do just some very general, again, napkin art kind of 101 today, because I know we have some people that this might be their very first time. And then in our next free workshop, we're going to step it up a bit. We're going to step it up a bit and be working on, again, some more projects out of this bundle. Okay. So again, thinking about light for this one, I'm going to go ahead and separate my napkin on this one. Again, I do it with my fingers. I tap my fingers on my tongue. Lick and stick is what I call it. Whoops, tore. Lick and stick is what I call it, but you could also put just a tiny little bit on your finger of Mod Podge. You could put just a little bit of Mod Podge on there. All right, these plies came off together. This is a 3-ply. Just want to make sure you see. Get those plies off. We don't have to paint the canvas. We're going to leave it just like this. It's going to be gorgeous. I'm going to bring mine down just a little bit. I want to make sure that I have this star emphasized here. Bring my camera down here a little bit so y'all can see better. Okay, I want to have the star there. Actually, it goes this way. Sorry, I had it turned around. Yes. So I'm going to kind of bring it up to where the star is just kind of right there towards the point there. Now, I'm going to sand off the excess of this napkin. So I'm going to go ahead again with my Mod Podge mat, and I'm going to start painting over this canvas. So we're going to use a napkin and also a printable for this one. And I'm going to show you how you can add light to your canvas art. It's a beautiful technique. Okay, so I'm going to kind of drag this down a little bit. And I'm focusing kind of on that star up there. Okay. Taking my plastic wrap, and I'm going to start kind of here in the center. Just kind of start in the center, start smoothing over Joseph and Mary, baby Jesus. And then as that part gets smooth, you'll start kind of working your way to the outside. Okay, just smoothing our way to the outside. Using the plastic sheets is so nice for a good smooth surface. Even though a canvas has some texture on it, it's still mostly flat, mostly smooth. So this is a great method using the plastic wrap. And you have plastic wrap in your kitchen that you could use. I used deli bakery sheets, which are in my Amazon storefront if you want to see what I use. But even if you have sandwich baggies, you could always even cut apart a sandwich baggie and use that plastic as well. So again, just smoothing all of that down. So this is a napkin from Joy to the World. Isn't it gorgeous? It's a new one out this year. I think it's so beautiful. Look how pretty this is. Look at the background. I love kind of the distress, a little bit of this kind of fade away, kind of flourish. It's just so beautiful. Love it. So now that we have that on, I'm going to go ahead and dry it so I'm going to sand off the edges. And then we're going to apply some words to this. Using our printable. All right. If you have a little piece of sandpaper or a little sanding file or something like that, we're going to just kind of come along in here and sand away the excess. Are y'all enjoying learning? Are you enjoying this? If you're already in my Napkin Club, I hope that you like the refresher on the candles. I'm actually doing the candles a little differently than I've shown y'all in the past. It is so easy. It is so easy, and you don't have to worry that you're going to, use too much heat on your candle and all those things. So I hope you enjoyed the candle process. And now we're going to just do a very easy napkin art canvas. And let's see, let's look at our printable and see what we could do. Look, we could do maybe possibly Oh Holy Night. Oh, come let us adore him. Ooh, I like that. All is calm, all is bright. I think I'm going to do this one. Oh, come let us adore him. It's hard to find a lot of napkins anymore that have any kind of reference to, faith or verses or scriptures or things like that. So that's why I just felt like it was so important to go ahead and create a printable for us so that now we can put on whatever we want to. Gave you lots of different options that you can use with your napkin art projects. So again, I just kind of don't really want any super straight edges here. Just kind of around this part. I'm not going to use the black star, but I'll hang on to that. I'll keep that with my other napkins because I may use that on something else. Yes, I think that is going to be so pretty. What do you think? Do you like that? I think that's so pretty. So I'll let you decide, if you wanted to put something like way up here, you could. I kind of like it over here. Right? Just kind of right in there. So again, I've already heat set my printable. I don't have to heat set it again. Once I've done it, it's done. You don't have to do it again. And yeah, I think right. I'm trying to make sure that I have it somewhat straight. how pretty. And that tissue paper is just going to blend right in. Just going to blend right in. Beautiful. Look how pretty. Isn't that great? I love it. I love it. I love it. So now that this has been done, again, we always want to dry in between layers, okay? We want to dry in between layers. Now you could be doing something else at this point. I'm just using my heat tool to kind of speed the process along. And then I need to seal this. I need to make sure that everything is sealed. I want to protect my napkin art and my tissue printable here. So I'm going to put just a nice, just a quick thin coat, even coat of Mod Podge over all of this. And then we can do some pen work. We can add some sparkle. We can do whatever else we want to do to our napkin because we sealed it. Okay. Thank y'all so much for being here today. I hope you enjoy the projects that I have planned for you for the free workshops. And I'm excited for all of you that are attending the $10 workshop on Sunday. That's going to be super, super fun. All right, so I'll kind of hold this in the light. You can see the wet. You want to make sure that you kind of have that everywhere. We're going to dry this. And then I'm going to do a little bit of pen work, I think. Or maybe not. Maybe I'll just add sparkle. I don't want to take up too much of your time today. We'll see. Just want to be sure that top coat is nice and dry. Look how nice. Doesn't that look great? I know, it's so pretty. So if you did want to come in and do any pen work around the images here, you could do that. If you wanted to come in and again add any sparkle, like maybe on this one we sparkle everything that's gold. I'm just going to add a little bit on here. This is the part where it's like you kind of, it's up to you how much you want to add to it. You can. And then I'm going to do the sparkle on the white kind of swaddling clothes around Jesus. And of course our star. Can be very subtle and just very pretty like that. Isn't that gorgeous? So, so pretty. Okay. We're going to go ahead and decorate this one. I'm going to decorate the whole thing, and I'm going to show you how you can add some beautiful glow to your canvas. So let me make sure this is a little bit dry so I don't smear sparkle everywhere. Okay, I've got some pretty ribbon here. This pretty gold, that's going to pull out the gold in the napkin, I think. Isn't that pretty? So first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to go ahead and put this ribbon around my canvas. And I did not turn on my glue gun. Again, I did that last week too, you guys. Okay, while that's heating up, let's make a bow. Let's make a bow. So I'm going to go with white and gold on this. White and gold. So I'm going to use this white. It's got kind of like a gold edge to it. Isn't that pretty? Okay, so let's make a pretty bow for this. I'm going to show you just this again. It's pretty. I keep my bows pretty easy. I'm going to do kind of a loop, right? And I'm going to do another loop and another loop. And these would be my tails right here. So let's do that again. There's one loop. This would be a tail. Two loops. You determine how big you want your bow to be. Three loops, and there's the fourth loop. So let's cut off some of this excess. I'll make sure it's even here in a moment. And then I like to use my best friend here, a clothespin, to hold all that. And most of the time I do this with twine, but I'm going to do it with this ribbon today. I'm going to do it with this ribbon right here. And then I'm going to move my little friend there, and I'm just going to tie this really nice and tight. And it's going to give my bow some great movement, some great loops. Look how pretty that bow is. And you can kind of play with it. We'll determine, like, if we want both, if I want both tails going down, I'll just pull this one down. We'll see, because we're going to do some greenery on here and everything. So for right now, I'm going to leave it just like it is. Okay. Very pretty. Very, very pretty. Very easy to do. All right, I think my glue gun's ready now. So let me raise this up a little bit. So this ribbon doesn't quite, it's not quite the whole length, but I'm okay with that. We've got a lot of white going on here. I think it's going to be fine. If you wanted to move it up to the front, you could. I'm just going to center mine. So I'm going to start with a little bit of glue here. And then I'm just going to, I don't know, I call this kind of drizzle and drag. Most of my glue is going to be on the corners and just a little bit kind of drizzle and drag. I have a precision tip glue gun, so that's important. It just really helps everything stay down well. And I don't have a lot of glue oozing out. So thicker right here, thicker over here. Still needs to heat up a little bit more. There we go. And then just kind of, I'm squeezing it out, but I'm dragging it so that it's not real thick along the middle. I don't want any big, thick, globby lines showing through my ribbon. Okay, does that make sense, you guys? Come on. There we go. This will look beautiful with the this candle, I think, too, with all the pretty gold. So what a pretty gift that could make. That could be a really pretty kind of gift combo. Okay, we're almost all the way across. Oh, it came up. That was the first one I did, wasn't it? Yeah, I don't think my glue was hot enough then. Now it's plenty hot. So I'm going to trim this little piece off. And then just put down a little bit of glue right here so this part can kind of overlap. I need to pick all the Mod Podge off my fingers. Wouldn't that be a pretty set? Yeah, it would be so pretty. And then, of course, you can back these. You can either decorate something on the back and use this as a shadow box, or just a pretty, maybe a pretty paper or even a fabric, just something to cover up on the back. So now we have our pretty gold all the way around. And we've got this pretty ribbon that we could put kind of right here on the top. Okay. Now, before I put this ribbon on, we're going to do something else. I'm going to tie in some fairy lights. Do you know what fairy lights are? The little bitty teeny lights. I'm going to turn these on. Hopefully you can see the lights coming on. Right? So it just has this little switch. They make all different kinds, different ones. This one is what's called a warm set. And this is something that could be very pretty in the bow. Looks kind of like a slinky when you take it apart. So I'm going to take this slinky here and I'm going to kind of stretch it out. I want it to be a little more, not so slinky-ish. Here, let me show you what I'm doing. I'm just kind of taking my hands through it just to take out a lot of those curves. Sorry, it's kind of long, kind of hard to do on camera. All right, so here's the end. Here's this. I'm actually going to incorporate these into the bow. I did this earlier in the year with a Halloween canvas. It was so cute. The whole time I was thinking like, gosh, I've got to do this for Christmas. So now I have all of these little fairy lights here. Here's the end. So all I'm going to do, you guys, is just kind of like this. I'm just kind of creating this, basically a fairy light bow. Okay, loop, loop, just keep adding loops. And then we'll kind of hide the little switch. We're going to hide in the back of the canvas for now. So you'll have to think about that. If you are going to gift this, you may not want to cover up the back of the canvas, and I'll show you why. If you want it to light up, if you want things to light up, then I don't want you to cover the back, because not only are we going to put lights in the bow, oh my gosh, this is going to be so pretty. All right, we're about where we need to be. Here's my end. Okay. Now I'm going to take some of this and just kind of wrap around the middle of this, what's going to be a bow, be part of a bow. Okay, so I want to make sure it's going to stay together easily. Okay. And then, of course, when we get it all situated on here, we can play with the loops and all that stuff. Okay, so you see what's going on here, right? All right. And here is our bow. So what I'm going to do is take this part of the bow, the lights, the fairy light bow, whatever you want to call these, little mini Christmas lights. And I'm going to tie these now onto the center of this bow. It may look funny right now, but I promise you, oh my gosh, they're so pretty when they're lit up. Now I'm going to go ahead and tie a bow out of this white ribbon. And then that kind of just covers up. It might be a little too loopy. That just helps cover up the center where all that wire is wrapped. And we still have this part. Okay, let's turn this light on. Let's turn this on. Can you see what's happening? And it's all wire. So you're going to be able to kind of come in and kind of play with it. Can you see it all lit up? Isn't that pretty? It's all lit up. Okay, I'm going to turn it off for a second while we glue it down. This is going to go right up here. Let me grab my hot glue. So you're going to have kind of a good little blob of hot glue here. We're going to lay this part of the bow right down into that. I got to hold it for just a second. And then this little guy can sit on the inside. I could have made him a little, I guess I could have wrapped it probably one more time. All right, let me play with my bow a little bit so I can show you how pretty this is going to be. All right, I want this to be kind of loopy. There we go. All right, let's cut this. This needs to be cut down. I'm going to do a little flag end on the edge of this one. And again, just don't worry about all this. We'll be able to kind of mess with the bow parts, all the little loops here in a minute. Cut a slit in the center, and then I usually do a corner to the top of the slit. Okay, now this can live in here. Now, even though, let me go ahead and turn this on so you can see, you'll have all the lights on here. It's going to be so pretty next to your glowing candle. It'll be gorgeous, so pretty putting these into bows. But also something else that we can do back here is use tea lights. Okay, so these are those little just battery operated tea lights. Let me turn this one on, off, on, right? The little battery operated tea lights. Because if we put the tea lights back here, let me move this for a second, then guess what? Our nativity scene is going to glow as well. So you can set your tea lights back here. We can kind of just put that in there just as a, go ahead and turn the lights on so hopefully you can see. I'll have to take pictures of this in the dark. Okay, but it is so pretty because everything right there around baby Jesus is going to be glowing. I promise. I'll take pictures in the dark so you can see. This is all about light today, candles and light. Adding the cute fairy lights to your bow is adorable. Adding the tea lights behind here, it's going to create this glowing flickering through your napkin art. It's going to be amazing, gorgeous, and I'm sorry it doesn't show up very well right this moment. Now, I also think it's pretty to always add in maybe a little bit of greenery or something. So I have some little just greenery picks here. These are a little long, so I'm just going to cut them down a little bit. It's always nice to have a little bit of what I would consider life, right, in here. So I'm going to lift up the bow part. I'm going to put in a little bit of hot glue right here. And I'm just going to slide in some of this pretty kind of frosted greenery. Once that's stuck, again, like I said, we can kind of mess with the bow and all of that. Let's put some over here too. And before you know it, you are finished and you have a gorgeous, gorgeous lighted canvas. Beautiful lighted. Oh, we're not quite done. I remember I was going to do one more thing. Now I remember. Okay. Let me show this to you over here. Do you see what I mean? So if you want to add in any kind of greenery in here, you can. It's just pretty to add some greenery in there. The other thing I wanted to show you is, let me just take these out because every time I move it, they're going to fall. You could put your tea lights in there with like a glue dot or something to keep them from moving around when you gift this. but I want something kind of right here in the center. Okay. So I thought maybe an ornament would look really pretty in the center. So I have these little bitty gold and white ornaments. And so I was kind of thinking maybe a gold ornament. What do you think? Do you think it needs? I think just something in the center of all that. There's so much else going on. It just kind of looks like maybe it might need a little something right there, and probably even a little bit more greenery. And so like on this piece, what I may do is just cut pieces off of this. Are y'all enjoying this workshop? I hope you are. I feel like I'm just talking. Okay. So I can put a little bit more, just these little snippets of greenery, right? Kind of up in here. And I'm trying not to use hot glue where the lights are. That's why I have them turned on right now, because it's a little easier for me to see where they are. So I'm just going to throw in a little bit more of this greenery. The greenery also kind of helps to give the, that might be too big. Let's cut this down. Yeah, we don't need this one to be this big. It doesn't take much to really just add some, just these little touches sometimes can make just the biggest difference. And taking a project that looks great to just looking like amazing, right? So pretty. And if we ever have trouble with like a bow or a ribbon or something, we can always put a little dot of glue down on it. So I'm kind of thinking the gold. I don't know. What do y'all like? Do you like the gold or the white? What you think? I'll kind of show you what it's looking like from the front here. Don't want too much going down because we don't want to cover up our napkin art. In fact, I probably am going to touch a couple of these little ribbon tails with a little dot of glue somewhere, just so I can get them to go where I want them to go. Gold. Okay, that's what I was thinking too. And I'm just going to kind of nestle it in there at a little bit of an angle. Oh, it's so pretty. I think these greenery pieces are wired, so I can mess with them. Look how pretty. Look how pretty that top is. Isn't that pretty? I think it's gorgeous. Now these are wired, so I can, once the glue is really good and set, I can, you know, mess with them. We're going to have the lights in the bow. We're going to have the lights coming through the canvas itself. And then I do have one more thing. I happen to have, you know how like Hobby Lobby and Walmart, they all have the little miniature things. I found these last year in the miniature section, and I was like, wow. I mean, this is, it might be too big, but I could maybe try to cut it down some. Let's just see. So you could do something, maybe even a different type of embellishment for the star if you had something that you could use. This might be a little bit big. But there are lots of little things like this out there that you could find. So if there is something else that you want to add onto your the front part of your canvas, you can. I think it's just gorgeous, and I can't wait for y'all to see what they look like with the tea lights glowing through the canvas, and then also the pretty little twinkle lights. You can, fairy lights, you can get some that twinkle, you can get some that just stay on. I like the warm ones the best. The cold ones kind of have they kind of have a bluish tone to them. I like the warm lights. Isn't it pretty? So it's just going to look gorgeous, and especially when you can actually really see the light. Okay, so today was about light. I wanted you to learn about how to napkinize your candles, right? There's that one with the gold. We also did this pretty one in kind of more traditional red and green colors with the music notes. I think it turned out really pretty as well. I still need to go around this one to do a little bit more of the wax paper, right? Melt on there. But and then this one, our light is introduced through putting lights into your bows. You could even wrap your canvas with the lights if you want to, but I love them up here in the top. And then don't forget about putting the little tea lights here in the back. And they fit perfectly with these chunky canvases. They just fit perfectly right there on the little frame part. Okay. So I hope you enjoyed this.